Hello, and thanks for checking out the channel. This time it's a 2,500 point tactical escalation battle, between my Thousand Sons, and Tyranids. Full disclosure, we end the battle early due to time constraints, so if that gets your goat, don't say I didn't warn you. I still wanted to put this up, as we are able to call a winner, and I took the pictures and wanted to get more content up anyway. So, let's take a look at the armies. I win first turn. You've seen deployment in the previous pick, so let's get straight into it. Before the turn begins, his Spore Assist comes down on the right flank. I draw, Scour the Skies, meaning I gain 1 VP if I manage to destroy a flying unit. My Predator and Halberd stay still, and the Cultists remain behind the building on the far right. I move up with everything else, with Magnus, the Mauler Fiend, and a Demon Prince all in striking range of the Spore Assist. At this point I'd like to mention I've used Thousand Sons once before, and never faced Tyranids, so there. In the Psychic phase I roll very well, and Magnus gets off warp time to get him right up the field, as well as Glamour and Weaver, giving him his full defensive repertoire. The Demon Prince buffs itself with Diabolic Strength, and there's little else to note. In the shooting phase I don't manage to do much. I target the Venomthropes with my long-range weapons and kill one. My rubrics are only in range of gaunts, so just kill a few of those. The Mauler Fiend and Demon Prince charge the nasty old Spore Assist, with the Fiend taking a wound in Overwatch. They obviously make short work of it. Magnus charges the Gargoyles.
You are really dumb, for real.
Why does he make this dreadful decision? There are a number of factors at play. Having not played a huge amount of tactical objective games before, I had in previous games lost sight of the objectives and just gone for all-out carnage, which had cost me the game. I need to kill a flying unit, and failed to wipe out the Venomthropes, so here's a chance, right? I should have friggin' realized that, of course, he doesn't have enough attacks to take out the whole unit, and they won't suffer from morale due to their hive mind rule thingy, so they can just fall back next turn, and it will all have been for nothing. Secondly, I got carried away with the attitude of, fling him up the field pronto, without thinking it through properly. Whatever, there's no valid justification. I realize it's a piece of shit decision. To make matters worse, I take a wound from Overwatch, only kill 4, and they do 4 more friggin' wounds to me in return, because they have some sort of Tyranid damage boosting stuff on them. Yikes. Tyranids turn 1. This is Kraken, so they're scarily fast. On the left flank, the Swarmlord advances up with 20 Genestealers. The central mass of Termagants, Pyrovores, and the Broodlord also scuttle towards my Enlightened and rubrics.
Those fuckers are about to swamp us.
Here's another angle. The Gargoyles dutifully fall back. In the Psychic phase, Catalyst goes off on the Stealers, but I don't think much else happens. In shooting, I lose 5 wounds on the Defiler and the nearby Termagants do another 6 wounds to Magnus. Oh, the first 5 wounds on the Defiler must have been from a Super Smite or something, because it takes 3 more wounds shooting I guess. The Swarmlord makes the Genestealers move again, and now they're all up in my friggin' face. Then a unit of Termagants, who also have CC upgrades, charge Magnus. Rippers charge the Fiend to slow it down. Then the Stealers charge the Defiler, and Termagants charge the Enlightened. The Stealers do 19 wounds to the Defiler, and it only has 6 left, so even with its 3+ save, it should be toast, right? Tazinch obviously decides he doesn't want his minion changed into scrap metal just yet, as this is my stupidly lucky save roll. I have tried every friggin' way I can think of to get this thing to pronounce Tazinch differently, But, Tezinch, is the best I can do. Elsewhere, the Enlightened get mullered and die, but although Magnus takes a few more wounds, and only has 4 left now, he survives. My turn too. The Defiler falls back. The Termagants had consolidated into the rubrics, so the rubrics also fall back. The Demon Prince on this flank is just frickin' pottering about, who knows what the fuck he's doing. I made my list on Battlescribe and forgot to give my princes wings, and didn't realize it until the start of the battle when it was too late to really change it. This really hampers them. Over on the other flank, I deep strike my Zangers at the bottom of the picture, next to the cultists who've now moved up. This was the best they could do, due to the Rippers preventing them from getting a better location. The Fiend hadn't managed to wipe out the Rippers last turn. Up top, the badly wounded Magnus flies away from the Termagants and heads towards the enemy warlord. I then deep strike my 10 Terminators nearby. Oh yeah, for my card, I drew, defend objective 6. In the psychic phase, Magnus gets off his 3++, and Ahriman warp times the rightmost Demon Prince to a better position. In shooting, I play, Veterans of the Long War, and unload on the Termagants with my Terminators, although my Hellfire obviously targets the Turbogon. I kill a boatload of Gans, as you can see here, but if I can't kill the Turbogon a load more can come back. In the charge phase, I do remarkably well. My Terminators make a long charge against the warriors. Magnus, the Shaman, and Demon Prince get in on the Venom Tropes and Turbogon, and my Zangors make their charge against the big unit of Termagants down here.
Send in the goats!
The Terminators start a beatdown on the warriors, killing 2 and only losing 1 in return. I think the warriors rolled quite badly. Over here, the Prince does kill the Venom Tropes, netting me AVP, but Magnus can't quite kill the Turbogon. We thought he had, even with only 5 attacks, but realized adaptive biology had already been triggered, which greatly reduced the amount of damage suffered, so it still has a few wounds left. The Zangors kill a lot of Gans, but because it was a shitty old charge where not all of the goats could fight, even after pile-in, they don't kill nearly enough. Tyranids turn 2. The Trigons pop up.
Surprise, motherfucker!
One shows up with a bunch of Hormas, and the other one is just out of shot by the Defiler. The Turbogon scuttles away and replenishes a load of Gants that the Terminators had killed. The Gargoyles flap down towards my Fiend, cause I had killed the Rippers last turn, so if they don't contest the objective I'll have defended it and gained some more VPs. Not a ton happens in psychic or shooting. So, one of the Trigons charges and destroys the Defiler. Magnus finally goes down. I can't remember what took his final wounds, but it looks like it was probably a charge from the enraged Turbogon. The Swarmlord Hive commanders himself and gets into the goats, along with the Broodlord and Stealers. Yeah, I think the goats are gonna die.
Oh god.
The Gargoyles get their charge off, but Deathleaper, who emerged this turn, fails. The Gargoyles' plan fails though, as my Fiend alone rolls well enough to muller all of them. The combat over here is still going well for my Scarabs, with 3 warriors killed and 2 Scarabs lost in return. Over here, not quite so well. The goats died in droves, and the rest fled after a morale check. One of the Tyranids' objectives was for me to fail a morale check. Looks like my rubrics have taken a pasting from the Pyrovores and Gants, as well. So here's the battlefield when we unfortunately had to call the game. The Zangors are on the field because I hadn't removed them yet after they died, so ignore those. The Tyranids had killed enough units this turn to gain another D3 VPs from their other objective card, Blood and Guts, and they gained 3. So, that's 1 for Line Breaker, 1 for Psychological Warfare, and 3 for Blood and Guts, for a total of 5. I, on the other hand, scored 1 for Line Breaker, 1 for Scour the Skies, and 2 for Defending Objective 6, for a total of 4.
I got a little bit of a tragedy on my hands, yeah.
So Tyranids win by 1 point. I think it's a fair result, as I haven't killed that much stuff and am rapidly running out of real estate. I think I forgot to mention one of the Demon Princes dying this turn, too. I could probably launch a pretty decent counter-offensive in my turn 3, and reckon I'd take out a couple of the big guys, but then I'm just going to get swamped by Gene Stealers, the Swarmlord, and loads more Gants, and not be able to score objectives, if I even survive. So, obviously I didn't use Magnus very well. I can't even defend it in any way.
Back off with your judgment.
Sorry this wasn't a full battle, but I've legitimately watched 90-minute plus video reports in the past, where they stopped the game early and didn't even warn you in advance. At least this is only 10 minutes, eh? Now that I've faced Nids, I will be better prepared next time. Playing this battle has scared me away from playing a horde army somewhat, I must say, after seeing how long they take to do everything. And even my Thousand Sons felt unwieldy and laborious compared to my Harlequins. Not sure when I will use Thousand Sons again. Next time, I think I'll take my Custodes out for a spin, as I need to try them out more, and they are compact and quick to play. Well, another fun battle. That's all she wrote. Thanks for stopping by.